Well, all I know is like, I hope I kind of hope there's a season two. But then again, we'll see. If I get more angry, then I'll be like, you know what, just quit it altogether. I don't need it. I don't need the stress.
Exactly.
But how was the week?
It's I mean slow. Korea's kind of getting back to the same point where it's always dangerous to go out and do anything.
Oh, really?
Yep.
No bueno.
Nope, not at all.
Mm. I thought it was safe to walk alone.
Well, I mean, you might get
Mm.
challenged to like Korean pogs, and then if you lose, you might get slapped in the face.
Dang. Dang, that's true. That's true. That's true. I would by then I would have literally went Latina and just grab a freaking chancla and start slapping him a couple of times with it. That's my way of playing it. I would have been like, "Oh, you slapping me with your hand? Okay, let me throw my shoe at you and see what happens." It boomerangs right back too.
Exactly.
No, my friend, she goes through Etsy. She like orders some stuff and always ships it to my house, and I
Hmm.
give it to her. So there was one particular thing that she shopped for on Etsy, and she was like, "Oh my God, this totally made me think of you." And it was like a little keychain, and it has the chancla,
Hmm.
and it says "chancla survivor," and I was like, "Oh my God." I was like, you know what? I want to low key get it so I could just be like, "Happy birthday, mom!"
Oh God,
But my mom would probably
throw it
probably
at
be
you.
like, "Okay." She'll be like, "I'll take you back to like 4 years old." I'll be like, I'm 4 years old." If, honestly, if it's between my dad and my mom, I would have probably went with my dad.
Hmm.
Moms have the mean swing when you really piss them off to a point.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That's why I was like, "Mom, I will challenge you." I challenged my father. I challenged him. But as soon as he'd be like, "Oh, you want me to let him, your mom?" I was like, "Maybe."
Yeah, exactly right.
I was like, "Maybe I'll risk it. Maybe." But then again, I'm like, you know what? I'll make your sandwich, okay? I'll make your I the sucky part about being a young. Are you an older sibling
I
or
am
you're
the
an only child?
oldest. I am the oldest.
You're the oldest.
Yep.
You can't relate.
안녕하세요, Pacman. Welcome.
Hi, Pacman. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Okay, it looks like we've got enough people to get started, I think. And if we get started, I'm gonna do this quick and then I'm gonna make some food because I'm hungry. Okay, so welcome to everybody to the fourth live class we've got here. Who is that? Vivi? No, that is JC. All right, so class number 4. So we're gonna start off with weather. And I know, Pacman, this is one that you had said that you'd wanted to learn. And I think when you said it too, I think I was streaming and I said, like, honestly, a lot of people don't really worry about the weather in Korea because they all check their phones or listen to the, like the news broadcast. But I figured since it was requested, I'm going to cover it. And I've got a few slides here that's just about weather. So we start off with how's the weather, which is just 날씨 어때요? So again, that's 날씨 어때요? 날씨 어때요? 날씨 어때요? So a little faster that becomes 날씨 어때요? 날씨 어때요? 날씨 어때요? And again, if we break it down, 날씨, the first part here is just weather, and then 어때요 is just how is it. So it's literally weather, how is it? Aha, Playlet does not have one yet. Hold on, Playlet, I'll get you in. Now, yes, Pacman, you can use 어때요 when you're asking that, and you can actually just say it as like 오늘 어때요? So 오늘, which is like today, and then the 어때요. I think I put that command in wrong. I believe it's actually commands. There we go. Haha. So again, if we wanted to use that, we can just say like here, 오늘 어때요? Which is like, how are you today? Or it can also just be like, how is it today? And again, that's comes out like the 오늘, and then we have up here the same 어때요? Come on, all right. So yes, you can use that. It's even like 어때요 can also be. Let me get this here. 어때요 also be like, what do you think? It can also be used for that. So like I just made polite lad a command, and I can just tell him like polite lad 어때요? And it's just asking like, what do you think? Or how about it? So 어때요 can be used in quite a few different ways. So again, the most common way, and actually it's like really the only way I've ever heard it, is just 날씨 어때요? And then we go into the few weather conditions here. So these are kind of the most common ones you'll hear, or the common ones you'll see. So here we've got the first one, which is 바람 많이 불어요. 바람. And then that's like 많이 불어요. 바람 많이 불어요. 바람 많이 불어요. So 바람 is wind, 많이 is many, and then 불어요 is blowing. So it's like wind, a lot of wind is blowing. 바람 많이 불어요. 바람 많이 불어요. It's actually a mix. It's kind of hard because it's not L and it's not R. It is a mix of them. So 바람, even though it sounds like an R, it's like a soft R, almost an L. It's like halfway in between. But then for the 불어, even though we kind of hear the L, it's like a mix. Not it's a mix with this. And again, this is like this. It's really strange, and this is the only letter in Korean that really has it. But 바람 많이 불어요 or 불어요. That's just, it's very windy. Next one we have cloudy. It's just 구름 많아요. So again, this comes out to like this. 구름 and 많아요. Oh, Nikki, thank you for the 100 bits. Welcome today. How are you doing today? Hopefully you're doing well. So again, we got cloudy, which is the 구름 많아요. So 구름 많아요. 구름 많아요. Good, that's good. 구름 많아요. So a little faster, comes out to 구름 많아요. 구름 많아요. 구름 많아요. Now, we've got sunny next, which is 햇빛이 많아요. So we actually keep the 많아요, which means a lot, but we've got the 햇빛, which it's 햇 and then 빛. 햇빛 많아요. 햇빛 많아요. 햇빛 많아요. So, weird question, but does a high-pitched voice help with the pronunciation? Kind of. I mean, you can always be like, 햇빛 많아요, and it would be fine. But generally, like, even when I speak Korean, I tend to go up a little bit in tone. I don't know if it's more easier to make the pronunciation, but again, it's just practice. So 햇빛 많아요. Then we've got snowy, which comes out to 눈이 많아요. So again, we've got the 많아요, but this time we got 눈이. 눈이 많아요. Yes, expressive voice is very important, but it's something too that surprisingly Koreans aren't very expressive in their voice for some reason sometimes. Like if you ever get a chance to watch the dubbing for Inside Out, the voiceover for Anger, he's just really calm. He's just like, "Oh, 오늘 구름 많아요." And you're like, well, he's supposed to be angry. He doesn't sound angry, so what's going on? But it's just, oh, 구름 많아요. Well, in the English version though, it's just like, what? Oh my god, I can't believe this happened. Like he was angry and we could hear him, but definitely in Korean, it's not. Even like joy and sadness, like that sadness in Korean was just like speaking slower. It wasn't even like a sad feeling. It's just like, oh, I'm hungry. Yeah. Most dramas are expressive, but sadly, they're a little over exaggerated. So when somebody like, well, if it's snowing, they're, again, it's like, oh, 눈이 많아요. Oh, 좋아. Like, oh, there's a lot of snow. Wow. But then you also have the people that are really overexpressive and like, oh, 어머나, 눈이 엄청 많아요. 와. And like, it doesn't really make sense, but it does happen that way. So again, for snowy, it's just 눈이 많아요. 눈이 많아요. 눈이 많아요. So as we speed up, 눈이 많아요. 눈이 많아요. 눈이 많아요. So next one we've got rainy, which this is where it kind of changes. So we've got 비가, not ra, 비가, yeah, 많이 와요. 비가 많이 와요. 비가 많이 와요. So again, that's 비가 많이 와요. 비 is rain, but 비가 is like it's raining. 많이 is a lot, and then 와요 is like it's coming down. So 비가 많이 와요 is just raining a lot. 비가 많이 와요. 비가 많이 와요. Then we've got it's cold, which is pretty simple. We think 추워요. 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 And a little bit faster that becomes 추워요. 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 So again, this one, it's used a lot, and actually it can be with a lot of stuff. 4-letter box always confusing to me. Which 4-letter box? 좋아요. 비가 많이 와요. Okay, perfect, Pacman. It's like I like it. It's raining, or I like it when it's raining. That's perfect. Oh, in rainy. Oh, the 많이. Yeah, so when we break it down, it actually is, we can see it's the mium, a, nian, hian. So the man, he, and because the he, it actually joins with the e, so it's he. And that's where it does get hard, but it's also used a lot. Just the word mani, 많은, because it just means a lot or many, it's just very common to see and to be used. But luckily, when it's cold, we can just say 추워요. But if we want to say like it's very cold, we just add that 많이 in front. There's 많이 and then 추워요. It's very cold. Next, we've got hot, which is 더워요. So when we think of it, it's like 더 or 더, but it's kind of strange. It's 더. It's like 더워요. 더워요. Yeah, 더워요. And again, it's not like duh, like duh. Even though it sounds a little similar, it's kind of not. So 더워요. 더워요. So again, 더워요, it just means it's hot. And you can add again, if we add 많이 더워요, it's very hot. And this one I added at the end just for the reason that in Korea, everybody always talks about it. And this is 습해요. So it's like no T. 습해요. 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 So 습해요 comes out to be just it's humid. And again, if you're like in the southern part of the US where it is humid, that's another very good thing you can say. Here in Korea during the summers, it's always humid. So even if you go outside, it's hot and it's humid. There is no hiding or escaping it unless you have air conditioning or a coffee shop you can run into. All right. Any other questions about the weather that you might have? You know, it might be similar to New York, but I know New York gets a little colder than it does here in Seoul. That and you guys probably have more hurricanes. Is there any changes if it was used in the past? So in these cases, yes. How would you say it's really snowy or really rainy? So what's a metal weather? A metal weather is when it's raining hilly and jimmies. So yes, what about the different severe weather named like tornado, hurricane? Now, those are easy. Tornado and hurricane are both the same. So let's start with this first. Tornado in Korean is tornado. Same. It's just tornado. Hurricane is hurricane. Hurricane. And let's see here. Yeah. We have typhoons in Korea, and the typhoons are called taepung. Hurricane and monsoon are the same thing. No. Usually, even the monsoon season, we don't get it's a typhoon, and that's why it's taepung. Where that Monique, there ain't no Monique, it's Shaniqua. And you know, it's hard speaking like that for a long time. But Mang's not here anyways, Jimmy, so we can't do that. But then going back to Polite Lad's question about changing it in the past tense. So, if we wanted to say 비가 많이, and now there's two ways. We can say 왔어요, which is the past for it rained a lot. And here's where it's actually just this ending here is what changes. So if we look at it here, 많이 와요. Yeah, 많이 와요. This 와요 changes here to 왔어요. So it rained a lot. And it's the same thing if we wanted to use it for, where was it here? If we wanted to use it for snowing a lot in the past, we would say 눈이 많이. There's two ways again. 있었어요. Which means there was a lot of snow. You can interchange 있었어요 or 왔어요. Like just saying 눈이 많이 왔어요 is fine. Or 비가 많이 있었어요 is also fine. Both of them do work. Yes, of course, Nikki. I'll make sure that it's posted in the Discord and I will make sure to send it to you as well. Now, I think Pacman also had a... Yeah, okay. It's really snowy or really rainy. If we wanted to emphasize like really snowy, we would just say 엄청 많아요. Or it'd actually be like 눈이 엄청 많아요. So again, 눈이 and then 엄청 많나요. 눈이 엄청 많아요. 눈이 엄청 많아요. 눈이 엄청 많아요. And again, if we changed this for 비가 엄청 많아요, it would be the same if we wanted it to be for rain. 비가 엄청 많아요. It's raining a lot. It's snowing a lot. And instead of it being 눈이, it's just 비가. So 비가 엄청 많아요. 엄청 많아요. And again, we have that tornado. Hurricane is the hurricane. 태풍 is typhoon. Monsoon is the same. It's just monsoon. Monsoon. And again, a lot of these, they just translate into the Konglish because it's easier. Like tornadoes, we don't get tornadoes here in Korea. So there's not really any point for us to have like a dedicated word for it. Any other questions about weather before we move on? No? No questions? Okay. I guess no questions, and we can move on. Oh, wait, can't think of any? Okay. Not a problem. So, here we're going to go over a few of the common sayings. So, let's start with just like, oh my God, which in Korean, there's actually quite a bit you can say. But we're going to start with the two most heard ones. So, no bolding. First one we have 대박, which sounds like 대박, 대박. This one again, it's kind of a good oh my God, but it depends on the tone. Like if somebody's like, ah, 대박, it's kind of like, I can't believe you did that. But they're like, oh, 대박. It's like, oh my God, that's so amazing. It's all about the tone for this one. So that's 대박. And it's more like this 대박. That way you don't say like 대백, but 대박. 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 That's right, Pacman. So with that emote, it's kind of like, oh my God, I can't believe you did that. And kind of like a bad way. But again, you can do it in a good way as well. So that does work out that way. Like we could almost use like this. And then it'd be a good way. Like, oh, you did it. Oh my God. Congratulations. Kind of that style. If someone surprised you, now this is where if somebody surprised you, no, you would not want to use it then. If somebody surprised you, kind of like we have here, we're going to go over the surprise sayings, like when somebody does surprise you. But for right now, just the oh my God. So 대박. And the next one we have here is 헐, which is kind of the similar thing, but it's more always bad. Like somebody's like, oh, I went to the club and I met a girl, but she didn't give me her number. And they're like, 헐. It's like, oh, like you're such a loser. Kind of like that. Oh my God. All right. Hold on. I got to be right back to take care of the dog. So give me like one quick second, guys. Okay, I'm back. So again, 헐 is usually like the bad way of saying oh my god. So when somebody brings you good news, you probably want to say like 대박, but somebody brings you bad news, and 헐 is much better. And again, these are like slang that became more vocab that people do use on a daily basis. So 대박 and 헐. Now, that's right, Pac-Man, just like that. Now, if it's like really bad news, you don't want to use any of them really. Well, you could use 대박 still because it's like a really big thing, but like if somebody came to you and said, "Oh, you're fired," you don't want to tell your boss or your ex-boss like, "Oh, 헐," because then it actually makes the situation worse for you. It's better to like go home, tell your friends, and be like, "Ah, 진짜 대박이었어, 대박," and they're gonna be like, "Oh, dang, like what happened?" Because you're like, "Oh my God, something bad happened," and then you tell them that, then they'll be like, "Ah, 헐," because again, it's like they can't believe it, and it's that kind of bad feeling. Turn around every now and then? No? Okay, that's right. That's right, Jimmy. No turning around. Even though every now and then it something does happen. Okay, let's see. So surprise saying. For the surprise sayings, first one we hear is 어머나, which is like, oh, it's actually like 어머나. So 어머나, it's one you'll hear usually a lot of older people or women saying a lot. It's like, oh, 어머나, which again, it's kind of like an oh my god, but it's like I can't believe it. Uh, again, a surprise thing. Like if you were to jump scare somebody, they could say 어머나 because it's like they're so scared. Yeah, Birdie, you're right. 어머 is a shortened version of 어머나. Usually, 어머 is more like when they're hearing news, so they're like, oh, 어머, 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 어머. But when it's like surprising, it usually you'll hear the whole thing like 어머나, because that na at the end kind of makes that point stronger. So 어머나. Then the next one we got here is 깜짝 놀랐어, which changes to, or translates to like you surprised me. So it's like 깜 깜짝 놀았어. 예, 놀았어요. 깜짝 놀았어요. 깜짝 놀았어요. 깜짝 놀았어요. So again, that one, 깜짝 놀랐어, is the one that mostly people use when they're surprised. Like if it's a surprise birthday and everybody's hiding, person comes back home and they're like, happy birthday, then the person would probably say like, oh, 깜짝 놀랐어. Like they're kind of like beating their chest because they're so surprised, or like they're trying to control their heartbeat. So 깜짝 놀랐어. And the last one we have here for surprise saying is actually just wow. Which again, it's just the Americanized, Konglish version of what we say is just wow. Wow. That's right, Pac-Man, just like that. Wow. So another one we have a lot that we see is actually just daydreaming. which in Korean we just call like mong. And it's kind of strange because it's not really just daydreaming, but it's like being in a trance or like a transitive state. So they actually have competitions where people sit in a park for like 12 hours straight, just daydreaming all day. And they have like trophies and stuff. Like it's ridiculous. But mong, like mong terida is different, but mong, usually you'll hear it in, or you'll see it in a lot of Korean dramas or the variety programs when somebody's trying to remember something and their face just like blank. It's almost like a brain fart. They'll write out the words just mong. If you guys watch the variety program Running Man, Song Jio actually has this a lot. They'll call her Mong Jio because she kind of blanks out or daydreams every time. For anybody who has seen the newest Netflix Korean drama, the newest Netflix original, Squid Game, or in Korean, the Ojingo Game, this top one for best friend should be pretty well known for you. It's the Ganbu, which Ganbu. It's the very, very old way of saying it. Oh, it's extremely popular. I would say I would definitely suggest watching it, but don't expect it to be like the typical Korean drama. It's definitely not. But Ganbu, it's a very old term for best friend. Um, kind of. So it's kind of like Hunger Games and Battle Royale mixed almost, but again, there's more to a story. Yeah, so like Battle Royale was the Japanese version, but I guess Battle Royale is the Japanese version of Hunger Games, and Squid Game is a little similar, but it's not exactly the same. There is the Battle Royale aspect, but it's not particularly the same. But here, Kambu, again, is the very old way of saying best friends. It's like pretty much brothers or sisters. Like it's you're that close to that person, you pretty much trust everything to them, and they trust everything to you. Now, this next one is actually a slang that's been used for maybe like the past 10 years or so, which is just bepu. And again, this one just comes out to bepu, bepu. And this one, there's a funny reason why. It's because this one is actually like best friend, best friends, bepu. Yeah. So they shorten it down so much they just use be from the best and pu. Uh, the, it was the other way. Best friends, bepu. Now, it's not very commonly heard because, again, people don't really say best friends in Korean, sadly. Yeah, exactly. Kind of like saying someone's BFFs or besties. Bepu works and it is used, but these days, I think the trend is just going to be kambu because the drama, again, Squid Game is making it more popular to use it, and people are going to start using that more. Now, the last one here that I've got is for stop it. And there's two different ways. The first one, it's more of like I want to say it's a more polite way to say it. Even though both are in the formal, they are both polite. But hajima is like stop. Oh, hajima yo. Hajimayo, which is the first one. It's a little bit more of like, please stop doing it or please don't do that. And again, if we look at hajimayo, hada, the verb is actually to do, so it's like don't do that. So hajimayo, and then the last one here we have is kumanheo. Kumanheyo. And this is to actually like stop doing that. Now, in most cases, depending where you are, in schools, the teachers will tell the students like kumanheo, which again means like stop, don't do that. But if it's like at home, parents to kids, they'll probably use hajimayo, which don't do that. But again, it's all on the tone. You might hear this a lot between like boyfriends and girlfriends. The boyfriend's maybe tickling the girlfriend and she's, oh, hajimayo. It's kind of like joking. Where if they're more serious, they're going to be like, yeah, 하지 말라고. Like, I said stop. And then like they change the tone. It becomes much different. So hajimayo, again, is more, there you go. That's right, Pacman. Where kumanheo is a little bit more stronger, more strict. So again, that's why like at schools they're used more, where hajimayo isn't. But at home, hajimayo is used more compared to kumanheo. That's right. A favorite saying when playing DBD. I think for Birdie, it's probably more just like that way. Is the yo required in it? Could you leave it out? Yes. If you just say hajima or kumane, it takes the formal out and it's informal. You can use it that way. Very good, Pac-Man. And in Korean, that's pretty much everything. If you want to make it informal, just take the yo out. If you want to make it formal, add a yo. But some things like 대박 yo, 헐 yo, it doesn't make sense. So those are the kind of words that it doesn't work. But it's also like it's more of a beginning of the sentence. It's not an ender where the yo has to be at the end. I mean, it's the same thing. I can be like, oh, Pac-Man, she hajima, and it's kind of joking. Like it's not like stop, but it's like if you keep doing it, maybe I'll get angry, and then they'll say it. Where, again, if it's on the tone, if it's like hajima, if really strong, then it's like stop it right now. That's when they're angry. But you can still use it when you're angry at someone. Like you could always just go to Birdie and be like, Birdie, hajima, hajima, hajima. And she'll probably be like, where? And then you can just say, 헐, and go. That's right. Now, again, like I said, when parents to kids, if they're using hajima, it's not as strict, but it's something that parents are scared to be strict with their kids. So that's why they'll use hajima instead of kumane. Now, if the parents get really angry, then they use kumane, then you know somebody's in trouble. All right. Any questions on this one? Oh. How does one say Dark Souls play? Is Jimmy, Dark Souls play. I feel like it's too late for me right now to do that voice. It's like when I played with you guys earlier, it was like still morning for me, so it was just kind of like perfect in that time. But does anybody else have any other questions that they'd like to see covered or answered or talked about or anything? Now, I know today's lesson's kind of short, it feels like. But again, with weather, when you go to the conditions and stuff, like that's pretty much it. Daily common sayings, like that's what's there. And again, it's just like it depends on situations. It depends what's going on. Uh, it can change. It can be longer. It can be shorter. It all just depends on what's being said. Yeah, Jimmy, that's how you say it in Korean. Dark Souls in Korean is just Dark Souls, and then bleh is just bleh. Because if you wanted to like make more of a Korean sound, they'd probably be like uek, but uek is more like a vomiting sound. The different seasons. Okay, we've got spring, winter, summer, fall. So spring is the easier one because just boom, which is again ah boom. Well, there goes that sound bite. Well, it's all the same. Just Dark Souls, bleh. Dark Souls, wick. So spring is 봄. And let's go into summer, which is 여름. Like well, you can say 여름. Fall, you have 가을. Blah blah blah. So it's like 가을. And then we have winter, which is 겨울. 가을, 겨울. Yeah. Which 겨울. So if you wanted to say something like you like spring, then we would just say like or yeah. 봄이 좋아요. Or this one actually you don't need the E necessarily. You just say 봄 좋아요. I like spring. And again, we can change that for all the other ones. We can say the same thing like 겨울 좋아요. 여름 좋아요. 가을 좋아요. And it all works the same that way. So, Birdie, that would be 봄 날 때 제일 좋은 것은 벚꽃 보는 거 아니면 그 벚꽃. 봄에 벚꽃 보는 거 좋아요. Or 벚꽃 보는 거 최고야. Which is like the best thing in spring is to see the cherry blossoms. Any other questions that you guys have? No questions, no comments, no concerns, no birdies, no jimmies. Okay. So dog and cat. Oh, not find. Animals. Okay. So dog is 강아지. That's like 강아지. 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 So 강아지. 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 And now there is a kind of childish way, 멍멍이, which again is just like 어 멍멍이 멍멍이 멍멍이. So Jimmy, let me get to the dog and cat first, and then I'll get through that one because that one's actually pretty simple. Cat is 고양이. That's 고양이. 고양이. So 고양이. Now they also have a slang term for that, which is just 냥이. 냥이. Uh, and again, you have other ones like fish. You can say as 물고기, which is just like 물고기, but this is only as like a pet, or yeah, as a pet. Slash wild fish, where eating fish is called 생선. 생선. Giving up. So, is 귀여워요 used to describe animals? You can use it to describe animals. So you can say like 강아지 귀여워요. 고양이 귀여워요. Hilly and Jimmy 귀여워요. And that it'd all be fine. I'm giving up. In Korean is 포기 포기 할 거야. And it's gonna tell me something different, isn't 할 거야? Oh yeah. 할 거야. So that's oh no. 포기 할 거야. 포기 할 거야. 포기 할 거야. Birdie, you have to do the Kiyomi song. So Jimmy, the next one you got to learn is 너를 포기하지 않을 거야. Well, yeah, I've done it too on stream. So Jimmy, 너를 포기하지 않을 거야. So again, this is like 너를 포기하지. I guess like G 안할 야 거야. Yes, that's right, Pacman. 강아지 귀여워요. Perfect. So 너를 pardon me while I hydrate myself. Never gonna give you up. 너를 포기하지 않을 거야. Now, Birdie actually brings up an interesting point. If we said never gonna let you down, in Korean, it's actually kind of different. Because we can actually say it as like 너와 너와 함께 있을 거야. And again, it's the 게 and 있을 거야, which really comes out to the same. It's like 너와 함께 있을 거야, which is more like I'm gonna be with you. But when it comes to it in Korean, that's just kind of what it is. 너와 함께 있을 거야. Okay. Any other questions, comments, concerns, things you guys want to learn? How to say Pacman. So in Korean, Pacman is Pacman in Korean. Hold on, something got into my eye. Okay. Pacman. That is Pacman in Korean. It's actually very easy. What about crow? Crow is my eye. Kamagi. Let me double check to make sure I got the crow right, because I know. Yes, I was right. Kamaki. Which again is like ka, ma, and qui. Pac-Man. That's right, Pac-Man. Crow the kamagi. What else, guys? What else do you want to know? Nothing else? No other questions, comments, concerns? Okay, what is Pac-Man's concern? Pac-Man's concern is Birdie. I agree, Birdie is a concern. Yep, I think that's all of our concerns. I'm sure many of you know Birdie is sick or she's recovering. Aliens, yep, that's right, aliens. What Birdie's recovering from, we don't know. She did get tested. I think she got tested for rabies. She may have an alien addiction. Everything came back negative, so no rabies. Okay. But alien addiction, that's still out there. No, she actually had to get tested for COVID again. And I think this is what, like the second time within like a 3 week span.
1 week.
1 week? Second time in
1 week.
1 week. Wow.
Yep.
Well, I
We
guess
got tested last Thursday, and then we got tested on Friday.
yeah, that's right. That's just the way the system goes.
And we're isolating until Wednesday.
Now, I got a question for you then. When you get tested, do you have to pay for the test?
No,
Okay, good.
because I have insurance through the state, so
Oh, yeah.
my taxpayer money is paying for
Oh,
it.
and I was gonna say because Korea, nobody pays for the test; everybody gets it for free.
Mm.
But you can do like the home testing kit, which you can buy for like $10. But again,
Yeah,
it's not as accurate.
we could have done the home testing
Hmm.
kit, but I'm like, no, because my kids would probably end up ruining it. So it's just
Yeah.
easier to go to the clinic. And this one was really nice, is because I could just call. It says, oh, is the drive up clinic? Is the
Oh,
drive up
yeah.
testing available? Can I get 3 appointments?
Yep.
Yeah.
So, do Koreans call K-pop K-pop or just music? So they do call it K-pop. Pop music is generally used for any English-speaking pop songs. If you talk to like any of the students, they'll probably be like, "Oh yeah, pop's music like Michael Jackson or the Beatles," and that's that.
Not pop.
Or they will also say Justin Bieber from like Baby. Oh, me too, Birdie. Me too.
Hmm.
Anything else, guys? You know, this month being Halloween and everything, I want to try to see if we can't do like a watch party for like a Korean horror movie. But I know
That'd be cool.
Netflix doesn't let us do watch parties.
Yeah, they do. There's an extension.
Not on Twitch. I know there's an extension, but not for Twitch streaming. So I got to figure something out.
Oh.
I think the only one is Amazon, but I don't know how the Amazon one works yet. Yeah, I
I
think
don't like
maybe on Discord, I think I might just try that.
like I don't even know what good Korean movies because I've tried on Amazon Prime and you don't see really good
No,
Korean movies.
Netflix has better ones, but there's a few that I would like to watch with everybody as well. But I got to figure it out. Yeah, maybe just on Discord might be the best way to do it. I don't think we'd have to. I don't think we could stream it, but I mean, we'll see. So, how to say princess needs to sleep? 공주님 자야 돼. That should be this way. No, it's not. It's the other one. Oh, you gotta be kidding. No, none of those are right. Okay, so we've got 공주님.
Is it because there's not saying there's a space? Could that be it? If you put between Taya and they.
Yeah, but it's also like honestly, you don't need it. It should be like this because it's all connecting to the one. But ah,
Remember, computers are only as smart as the people who programmed them.
now Jimmy, that's one too. I would love to watch the Gonjiam. I think that'd be fun. Heck yes, Gonjiam would be fun to watch. Goksang, which is like whaling, is another one that'd be fun. And that's right, Pacman Chayade. That's right, Pacman's got to go to sleep, or he's got to take a nap. There's quite a few that are about like twin sisters, surprisingly. Yeah, whaling is good because there's a lot of stuff too that you got to learn about like the culture. Like shamanism still exists in Korea today. Goksang is the actual name of a city, and I have students who've actually like their families are from Goksang, and they're like, yeah, when I was a child in school, the shaman came over, cut the chicken's head off, and like poured the blood off, and this, and I was just like, oh, I mean, it makes sense. That's Korea. That's like Southeast Asian thing. But yeah, I want to figure it out so we can all try to watch it together or do something with it together at least. Again, if it was a live stream, it'd be really great, but I don't think we'll be able to do that, which sucks, but we'll see. I think there was another one that I saw that was kind of like a Korean time traveling movie that's also a horror movie, which was kind of hard to keep track of, but it was also kind of interesting to watch. Or they've also got like the oh, there was like a anthology one as well, which was good. Kedam. Kedam. Where are there we are. Kedam. Yeah, this one is also like a short mini series. Each episode's like 8 to 9 minutes. The last one's 15. But this one was also pretty fun to watch because it's just like short stories, but based on Korean myths or Korean horror stories. Now, Jimmy, I would love to do that too. The Japanese horror movie, Thai horror movies are also very good.
I like their B horror movies.
I do too. I like Netflix also has one of the Japanese oh shoot. I forget what it was, but there's like another Japanese horror anthology.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't think they've got it on anymore, but they have like I remember going to Blockbuster getting them all the time. Wow.
Very tight.
Thank you. Which was like 10 stories of like the Asian, Southeast Asian horror stories, but it was all Japanese. But man, they were so good.
It was yeah, it was hilarious. I have on my Voodoo, was it Vampire Girl versus Frankenstein Girl? It's so horrible but so good.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of them like that though. Like that's what makes it fun.
Yep.
Uh, horror anthology movies. What was it called? Oh, Dark Tales of Japan. That's what it was. Yes, Dark Tales of Japan. They've got like a few of them. That's a very fun miniseries. Found footage can be fun, but I think it depends. Like if it's done well, it's good. But again, I think it just depends on what it is. Oh yeah, they got Tales from the Dark Part 1 on Netflix. So oh, and Part 2. Nice. So again, they've got some that are pretty good. Oh, it's actually Hong Kong. Oh, it's actually Chinese. Ooh. No, oh, that's sorry. It's not the Japanese version. The Chinese one also has like 4 or 5 of them. But it's all fun. I would say, Jimmy, you're right. It is more realistic, but it depends. Like there was one that's I forget what it was called, but it's like the ghost team who goes to investigate the hospital, and then like they all die except the main guy. And like for number 2, Grave Encounters. That's what it was called. Grave Encounters was fun if you don't think of it as a horror story, even though it's a horror movie. There were just some parts where it just was not that great, but it's a found footage documentary style one. And yeah, I would say found footage is a subgenre of horror. That's right, Jimmy. You eat those rats. Also, I would suggest if you guys haven't yet, watch the Netflix drama Sweet Home, which is like based off of a Korean uh webtoon they call it. That's also very fun to watch. Which they're also waiting for season 2, but we don't know if it will come out. But yeah, Gonjiam would be fun. Goksang would be fun. Pando was not fun. The peninsula, like supposed to be the second part of the Busaneng, the Train to Busan. Do not see the second one. It is trash. Alive, I think as well. Like the Saraita just wasn't that great either. That's right. That's what the camera guy said in Grave Encounters. Yep. Well, Pacman, what kind of things do you like to watch? Maybe we can help you find something. Like personally, I live off of Netflix and I use it in some of my classes. Like we'll just sit there watch like certain dramas or movies or I mean even like animation stuff. Like I'll just watch it with the kids and talk with them about it. Love, Death and Robots. Yes, I've seen the second season as well. Very fun. Anthology style, very fun, very interesting. Ooh, okay. Um which stories from Love, Death and Robot did you like the most? Because some of those stories probably you could find like dramas or other stuff that would be interesting to you as well. Oh, okay. Yeah, I like that one too. That was actually really artistic with the band on tilt. Oh, yeah. That one too was pretty good. Cuz like if you were going to say something like the killer robot and like the woman running away with the man and like fighting all the robots. It's more of a comedy. Like it's interesting, but it's not that great. The Kitsune Girl was really fun, really well done. The ban on children also, like the policeman struggling. I would say there's oh, actually, JC suggested one to me before that I would say is good. The Girl from Nowhere. It's very chilling, but it's really good to watch. Currently, right now, too, I'm watching Midnight Mass, which is like one of the newer dramas that came out just for Netflix. That one I'm liking a lot right now as well. But again, that's more of like a horror style. Uh, I'm trying to think too, like, again, if you want to see like Korean life in Canada, Kim's Convenience is actually pretty good about like Koreans living in the US as well. Mainly how like they focus too much on church and how they pretty much screw their own relationships up in their own families. Uh the which one? It's not a documentary, but it's very well written by people who are Koreans who moved to Canada. And I see that play, lad. Hey, Jimmy, Shinicho's back. And I mean, again, Squid Game is a good one to watch. I sound like someone who's a bit too into the gym. I'll show you who's into the gym. But Jimmy, I thought you didn't work today. I thought you said Saturdays you don't work anymore. Not all day? Oh, that's what it was. But who's getting it? Who's getting the egg yolk? Hey Birdie. Pacman. Pacman Kyoyong. And that's the end of the low voice because I believe I have it as a 2-minute thing. But yeah, Pacman, the shoot, where did it go? Kim's Convenience is not really a documentary, but it's like a based off of real stories, real life. It's fun. Hey, Spread Lake, welcome to the stream, Spread Lake. I mean, yeah, that's pretty much what I would suggest for now. I mean, if there's other things you're interested in, definitely there's a lot. They do have The Wailing on Netflix, or at least here in Korea they do. Oh wait, do they have it? They took it off. Damn. Oh yeah, Kim's Convenience is very funny. Yes. But the other one that I would suggest would be The Call, which is that's like that Korean kind of time traveling story. It's pretty interesting. I don't know. I thought they song. Oh, they did take it off for now. That sucks. But Konjiam's another kind of fun one. What else is there? Yeah, I mean, I would say probably just starting with those is fine. Kedam is also very fun. Old Boy is good. Drug King is also very good. What's this one? Eighth Night. I think that's also a Korean one. I haven't seen that one, so I don't know about that one. Yeah, The Call. So the basic story for The Call, let me see if I can find what they wrote about it here. Uh-huh. The Call. Come out, come out. All right. The basic story, they says, connected by phone in the same home but 20 years apart, a serial killer puts another woman's past and life on the line to change her own fate. I liked it, but it gets a little confusing or sometimes because it's like they kind of go back and forth, but it is a very interesting one. I mean, if you want like a more comedic but kind of really good movie, there's actually two that I would suggest in Korean. Uh, the first one would be yeah, yeah. The first one I would suggest would be Extreme Job, which is like police are trying to catch these gangsters, but they open a chicken restaurant, and surprisingly, the chicken restaurant is very successful. But it's a comedic action movie, which is pretty fun. The other one is called Luck Key, or like just like Lucky, where a guy suffers from amnesia. Even though he's an actor, he thinks he's something else, and like he becomes this really fun stuff. Like it's fun to watch. Again, Squid Game. I can't play Squid Game enough. It's good. But yeah, I mean, for the most part, I would say those are the better ones to stick with. I wouldn't suggest anything else yet, so you can kind of think in more like what else is there that you'd want to see or want to know about, want to learn about. If you want to know a little bit about like the K-pop stuff, there is the Blackpink documentary, which I do suggest. I liked it when I saw it. You do learn some, but it's good. You called in, yeah, definitely play that. I think I did the same, but it was very intense how it happened. Oh, Startup's another funny one too. The new Eternals movie, the guy who's playing Gilgamesh, the Korean actor whose name is Ma Dong-seok, he's like a very comedic, fun actor in Korea. So like the Startup is a fun one for him. He's also has one where he's like an arm wrestler. That's also pretty fun. I don't know. I didn't really like Alive. At the beginning, I kind of did, but towards the end, I was just like, I really wish it went a different way. I wish it was better. Yeah, I definitely think so too, Polite Lad. But again, it all depends on, what kind of stories you like. Sadly, a lot of Korean dramas are all about like falling in love. And honestly, to me, you start seeing the same things over and over and over again. So it loses interest. And then a lot of their action movies kind of come out the same. So it also is kind of stupid and trashy because it's hard just to follow through. But yeah, I think those are good suggestions for now. Don't want to give you too many because then you won't be able to watch all of them. At least not at once. Well, if that's all for now, I guess we can end this stream. And I gotta decide if I'm gonna go a good Korean screamo band. Oh, honestly, I have not heard any good Korean screamo bands. Oh shit. There are some, but honestly, like I didn't like any of their sounds. I don't know. I might go to sleep. I'm trying to decide if I'm gonna sleep or if I'm gonna eat. I'm kind of feeling it's going both ways. I could sleep and then eat, or sleep and then just wake up tomorrow morning and eat. I'm not sure yet. I think Jimmy, I think I sent you the link for that one before. The Korean screamo band. The one that seems to be most popular from what I'm seeing is the Muki Muki Manmansu or Andromeda, which I think I sent you the link to their song. But the other ones, they're not really that popular. I know Play Led. I know. Oh, okay, not that one then. Oh, I thought I sent you this other one. Hold on. Because those horses ones, like that's actually one of the more funny rock type bands in Korea. Uh, Jimmy. Okay. Bam. I thought I sent you this one before. Yeah, I thought I sent you that one. Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought I did. What's this? Aha. Well, again, if anybody wants to get the PowerPoint, I will put it in the Discord. And we still have one more class before the sixth one, because the fifth one has been paid for. So we got one more at least. Hey, Glessy, welcome to the stream. You just caught us right at the end. We're actually about to go raid one Mr. Karfti Tanuko. How are you doing, Glessy? Hope you're doing good today. That's right, Pacman. Good job. All right. Then, everybody, I will see you guys next time. hopefully we can do some more fun stuff. Thanks for watching. Thanks for coming. That's all right. I wouldn't actually be able to stick around for long. Oh, well then I guess it's perfect timing. Bye. All right, we're gonna go raid Mr. Karfto Tanuki. Karfty Tanuki. Tanuko. Everybody, when you go to his chat, make sure you say hi, Karfty Tanuko.